Welcome to the Mo.re.Bricks channel. My name is Mo, and today I'll be building yet another Lego architecture set. You can see it in the side of the frame already. I've taken a bit of a break after building quite a few sets in a row, but as you can see behind me, and I've mentioned this before, I also put the link down in the description. I also shoot drum videos most of the time when I'm here in my studio. The Lego project kind of came second after I had already built the studio for the drum cover purpose. So the Lego stuff is just because I enjoy it quite a lot, especially Lego Technic sets. I don't have any of these lying around right now because I discovered architecture is kind of something that I also really like in terms of the series and what it brings and how it looks when it's finished. And yeah, I got a bunch of sets in bulk. And I already built a couple. New York was one of them. Singapore was one of them. The Great Wall of China was another one. And I can't even remember. The Lego house in Billund was among those as well. I still have the White House basically down below the table. But I thought I'll get things started again and maybe build some more sets towards Christmas. It's mid-November, no, beginning of November right now. And yeah, let's see if I can build those, resell them, and get some more sets. I do have a couple in the pipeline that I want to get, not by Lego actually, but by a different manufacturer who also does the 1/8 scale super and hypercar models with like 3,500, 4,000 pieces. And yeah, I do want to get some of those, but now the architecture United States capital is one I want to do. It's in Washington, D.C., and we'll just open up the box. I already broke the seals. They were in their original packaging, and the seals were not broken when I got it. So let me switch to that camera so you can see the back real quick. And yeah, for those who joined the channel for the first time, I do have a couple of camera angles set up. One is, as you can see, from up top, so you can see me building. Let me just go through them real quick. I do have another one over here, so I can show you stuff like from another angle. And I put another light up in that direction. So the last couple of videos I did when I held something into that particular camera, oops, something is really mirroring off the box right here. Yeah, you couldn't really see it because it was too dark from that angle, so I got another light fixture and I set it up for this video. Looks great, works a lot better. Yeah, that's the other camera angle I have, and you can see the table a lot better than, for example, with the one I had on previously, which is just me talking into this camera straight ahead. And then here we go for details. Like, I can show you stuff in this camera right here, and you can also see me building, and you get, whoa, left-right thing when you look at the monitor. Still can't get the hang of that. You can see my drum kit behind me, and yeah, if you enjoy watching drum cover videos, for example, then make sure to check the link in the description. But now on to more important things, Lego. All right. The set is in metric units 445 millimeters wide, so just shy of 45 centimeters. The height is about 17.5 centimeters, and doesn't really say anything about the depth, but we'll find out in the end. Have to get a measuring tape or something like that. So, sorry if it gets a little loud. Turn down the volume if you're using headphones, but I will also do that in the editing, I think. The set number is 21030. Here we go. And I haven't opened any of the bags yet, which is great. So this is going to get louder again. And we do have a couple of plates. So these are 8x16 studs, I believe. And again, those bags are not numbered in any way. And the dominating colors are, well, kind of a teal green, I would say, like a almost surf green or seafoam green, if you want to call it that. And we have, of course, white, we have gray, dark bluish gray, light gray, so different gray tones. And let's see, what is this right here? Okay, product survey, not gonna do that. Oops. I do have the manual, the instructions. I always call it manual, but it's instructions. Oh, this is really a thick boy. Like, this has basically thicker cardboard as a lining for the rest of the instructions, maybe to keep it in one piece because it's quite thick. And it's got, let me see, 155 pages right there, but the actual instructions go all the way up to, last page is 147. So 147 pages. I forgot the part count. I gotta check that and maybe put it in the video, like on the bottom right here. Let me see if that focuses. Oh yeah, that's a lot better than before. I had the camera up top on the fritz for a while and it didn't focus right, but that works great now. Perfect. So the capital, I did see that from a bit further away when my wife and I visited my brother in Washington in May of this year, 2022. And let me put the box away real quick. I'm not going to be using the instructions either because I have the PDF on my laptop right here. So not to damage it. I mean, it got a little bit dinged and danged in the transport, I guess. Now that that's taken care of. All right, not to get tangled in my headphones. So let's just see how big this is going to be. And I think these might actually all be lined up like so, because I don't think it's 2 rows. I think it's just this 1 row, and you get quite a good picture of how big it's gonna be. And I think that kind of fits with what we read on the box with the 45 by 16, 17 centimeters. So that's quite reasonable, I guess. And yeah, I would say I will open up these bags and start building. I might actually go ahead and do the second part because the other sets I did so far were about 700, 800 pieces, sometimes even less, never above 1,000, I think. And this one, I believe, is almost double that. So I don't think I will get this done in one session. All the others were like full live build videos where I kind of sped up the building bits in between and showed you different kinds of pieces of the set at certain points of the build. But I think this one is going to be too large to do in one sitting, and I think I'll just build for 1.5 hours right now, and maybe I will do the second part as a live stream. I haven't decided if I will actually do that because I have OBS set up on my laptop. I have everything in a way that I can stream, I hope. I did a try at one point when I finished the studio, but I haven't done it since. So I might do that and build the second half with you guys watching in the live stream and writing comments in the chat, hopefully. But for now, yep, I'll just get it going, and I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get this thing started. Here we go. Okay, real quick, because the base plate is already done, and as I suspected, it's basically those huge tiles all one next to another, but I didn't think there was going to be 2 more in between. So basically, if you look at it from the top right there, let me just go to that big camera right here. All right, here you can see the base, and it's kind of, oops, yeah, if you look at it from the side, kind of bending because the structure underneath is not that stable, to be honest, but it's going to be a display model. It's not going to be played with, and once the weight is on there, I would think this is going to be very, very stable. But up until then, it's, yeah, just a big gray base plate with the black trim around. And it has the plaque for the United States Capitol building. I did forget in the heat of the moment, when I did the intro for the video, to do what I usually do and read something from the introductory pages and look at what the specs of the building and the history actually is. And in this case, it is quite a lot, and I was imagining it would be. And let me just read something because I don't think I will have the time, or it will make sense to read all of it. It's quite the story, actually. But there is a quote in there by Rufus Choate, I guess. Choate, a congressman and orator. And he said, "We have built no temple but the Capitol. We consult no common oracle but the Constitution." Yeah, and that holds true today still. A couple of pictures. Then there is history, starting with a paragraph. On September 18th, 1793, President George Washington laid the cornerstone of the U.S. Capitol building at the southeast corner of its foundation. The ceremony was carried out with great pomp and celebration as it marked the building of the young nation's most symbolically important and architecturally impressive building. There's a bunch of more paragraphs, but this is just like an introduction. There is a couple of statues being shown in the manual. I can maybe put those on the screen if I don't forget about it. And then there is something about the United States Capitol building today, and a quote by Alexander Hamilton, who has a musical going for him on Broadway and here in Germany also by now. It's in Hamburg, I think. And here, sir, the people govern, is what Alexander Hamilton Hamilton said. Current building with more cars than in the original one, I imagine. And then there is something about the architects. They have the Pantheon on the roof, or basically what marks the roof. And there are some facts about the United States Capitol building. Location: Washington, D.C., USA, of course. Construction periods: multiple: 1793, 1815, 1850, and 2000. So they did some work to it pretty recently, only 22 years ago. The architectural style is 19th century neoclassical. All right. Dimensions: 751 feet or 229 meters by 350 feet, which is 106 meters. Pardon. The height is 288 feet or 87 meters, and the building's footprint is 175,170 square feet, or just shy of 16,260 square meters. All right. Yeah, I'll put some of the pictures on the screen for you to enjoy while I read these facts out. And yeah, that's just like a little add-on because I forgot to do that in the beginning. And yeah, when the base plate is finished in the manual, there is something else. In the top right corner, it says the Capitol's architect William Thornton's design was inspired by the east front of the Louvre in Paris, France. And oh yeah, I also built that, for example, like with the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre. So inspiration came from that as well. All right, and then we're back to the instructions, and I will continue building. Here we go. Okay, real quick break at this point of the build, and I do want to point out a couple of things. Hang on a second before I go to the... haven't done this in a while. Disable the picture-in-picture. Here we go. And I want to show you... No. Better. So, this is basically what I've built so far, and it is always a bit frustrating with architecture builds if you have these 1x1 tiles. And not frustrating because it's tedious to put them on. I mean, it's quite a lot of them. I just had like these dark bluish gray ones 26 times, like for this side, and this is always usually symmetrical. So you build it twice, once here and once there. So 13 on each side, and there's a couple of more, and there is this checkerboard right up here. And the thing that frustrates me with the 1x1 tiles is that it is almost impossible to actually get them parallel. So you always have these kinds of, let me put it on this camera so you can see it better, right in focus right here. It's almost impossible to put them parallel. So you always have these little, like, if you can see it right here, little angles and little spaces in between these 1x1 tiles. And it's a lot more obvious if you have multiple of them, because it just kind of adds, like, from one side to the other. If you don't have one straight, then the next one isn't going to be straight, and so on. And this is completely gone by the time you have two, like a 1x2 tile. Then it's oriented correctly right away, but it doesn't work with the 1x1s. And I always try to get it kind of right, and like the best I potentially can get it to be. But it doesn't always work out exactly. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, when the model is finished, you probably won't notice it too much. But I kind of think how this is going to look in the end, I'm not quite sure. And the reason I stopped is because now we're getting a lot more structure. It's a bit more sturdy already. And we're going to start building in the third dimension right now, because this has all been on the kind of flat plane of the base. But now we are starting with, let me see, these right here. So the 1x3s, and these are higher and not just the tiles as before. And so we're actually gonna start building the actual Capitol building itself, because this was all kind of I think the greenery and the yard and the garden itself surrounding the building, and now it's gonna be the building itself. One other thing I want to mention is like, just to get started with the first couple of steps, I needed to open almost every bag, as you can see, so it didn't take long for this to become a really messy desk. I think I never had these many pieces out at once, and it's kind of giving me an idea how it's gonna be with bigger models even. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that bad, because usually with models like with 2,000 pieces upwards, you have numbered bags and you know exactly which ones you have to open. This model is not one of those, so even though it's like 1,000 something pieces, you have to open pretty much everything right away, which is okay, I guess, if the table is big enough. But in case you want to build this yourself, you need a bit more space to put all the pieces on the table and have the space for the model itself, because this is quite the sizable model, and you need the base plate right away. And so this is like the desk mat, I think, is 80 by 40, and the desk that I work on is 140 by 70. So it's not that small. I have the laptop over here, my recording equipment, and then basically the space to build the model itself. So let's continue doing that and start building in the third dimension with these pieces. And I usually don't build with the microphone in my way, but let's just do that kind of as a test run for the live stream. And I kind of have to continue to talk into the mic let me just move it over here. So it does actually work if I'm just on this top angle right here. If you were to see me from the side right now. Hello, camera, focus. Why isn't it focusing? Now it's focusing, or is it focused on the mic? I can't really tell. Like, hello? It should be auto face focusing, but for some reason I think it's got this bag or something. Or the microphone. I'm not quite sure what it's focusing on right now. It's not me. Let me hold something to the camera. So is that focused? It's more focused than I am. Hello? No? Okay, so we're not going to be using that camera for right now. Let's go to this one. Okay, so if I build right here and give you the picture-in-picture of that desk Here we go. This could be a setup for the live stream, so I can start or keep talking while I build. And I just have to keep in mind that the microphone is not picking up too much sound if I'm kind of moving away from it. But I was thinking about that for a while now, and I kind of do want to get like an actual shotgun microphone and put that basically right above where the screen ends and what you can see ends. So right outside the area of viewing. I haven't done that yet. No, what's that part? 2 holes in it. 1, 2, 8 pieces. Okay. But I have a particular mic in mind, and since I am an audio engineer by trade, that's what I studied as a profession, I usually don't half-ass any of the equipment I get, and I don't want to do it here either. And I try to keep my equipment, of course, somewhat in check when it comes to prices, because, I mean, all of what I do here is just a pure hobby. I don't make any money of it. I pour a lot of money and time into it. I guess that's the definition of a hobby. If I was to earn money with it, then it would be, well, my job, kind of. But I do have a full-time job, and this is just what I do in my free time and what I really enjoy doing, and I want to do it on a high level. But yeah, the mic, long story short behind that, the mic I do want to get is, again, not the cheapest one. It's not the most expensive one, because if you look at all the YouTube guys that are out there that do videos, yeah, if you look at all the techies like MKBHD or Linus, I do watch a lot of tech YouTubers just to kind of stay on top of things, and because I like what they do in terms of the video stuff itself. So how they produce their videos, I try to kind of take bits and pieces left and right of what they do and try to mimic that in some way and become as good quality-wise. Of course, that is easier said than done because their camera equipment, usually one of their cameras that they use is more than the entire setup of this room cost eventually. So I probably won't get there, but like just the visuals of what they do. Let me go back to Switcher and give you the top view only. So yeah, I have a bit more wiggle room for the mic. Here we go. So right now the manual has a pretty good distinction on top of each building step, because there's 3 different parts that look pretty similar. Let me see. I think the third of the 3 is not yet out of its bag. But basically, let me show you. There is these whole pieces like this one. Oops, here we go. Focus. And this one does not have any real base to it. And there is, for example, this one, that's the second one. And that has this little nubbin right here at the base. So you have to get the right ones in order to build it correctly. Yeah, but regarding the mic again, and I do want to get the top-down shotgun mic that I don't have to focus on talking into for the entire time when doing the videos. I do want to get one, the most expensive one that a lot of these YouTube influencers and channel guys have is a Sennheiser MKH416. And that is insane. That's almost €1,000 just for the microphone and nothing else. That's like the broadcast standard, if you want to call it that. So basically it's used in radio, it's used in television, it's used in film. It's got amazing like off-axis rejection of sound, so it only captures what is right in its path where it's pointed. You can point it from quite far away, which is good. But yeah, I can't spend $1,000 on a mic for my hobby. That's just out of the question. But then there's like kind of the go-to more budget version, and I hope you're a bit interested in this tech stuff. And if you are, then just keep listening and watching. If you aren't, just mute the sound and watch the video. Yeah, but there is another version which is kind of the little brother or sister of the MKH416, and that's the MKE 600. And the MKE 600 is kind of doing mostly the same thing compared to the bigger one. It's not as large, it's not as well built in terms of the body, not as stable. But the specs are pretty close, and the sound comparisons I watched and listened to were damn close to one another. So you can probably tell, like in a huge production where there's a lot of things going on and there's multiple people talking at the same time, and you have dialogue, and it has to be really, really well separated. Then you probably can hear the difference between the two. But for me, it's more about like getting like 80-90% of the way there, and then that's fine for me. And yeah, so probably want to get that mic. I have to figure out how to mount it, because basically my camera mount is screwed into the ceiling, and then there is a rod coming down, and there is an extension of a rod coming down from that rod, and then there is a camera plate, and it's again I'm making it work in the space I have, and that's totally fine. But it's not a super professional mounting solution, I gotta say. So I do have to figure out how to get a mic attached to that in addition to what is already on the ceiling. So that's going to be a challenge, but aside from the budget that isn't there right now, I will have to figure out how to put that onto the ceiling. That's the second thing I have to kind of get working before I can actually do that. All right. So we're building the outer walls, I guess, of the Capitol building right now. And this is interesting. I'm not quite sure what all these holes and nubs are required for, what they're gonna do eventually. I mean, they usually are used to put some kind of tiling on them, like to cover up bits in the end, to stick them to those kind of studs on the side. Let me show you. This is what it looks like from the side right now. So you have all these openings right here, and you can take bits and pieces and attach them to the sides. And then I'm not quite sure if I can show you that, but you have different kind of orientations of these studs right here as well. So there is some pointing inward, and yeah, let's see what is going to be attached to those in the end, because I have no clue so far, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, as I mentioned, I use the studio for two things, and the drum videos are quite different in terms of how I can make them and how I approach them, because the Lego stuff is like I'm talking out of my ass basically, and I improvise. I just hit record, and everything goes into my hard disk recorder, 4 cameras at the same time. I don't really edit, so I just put my watermark on the side, and I put some picture-in-picture stuff there for, let's say, the things in the manual that I didn't show you in the beginning. But I do this basically live. Even if it's not a live stream, I don't really go into the videos and cut them in the end. I only speed up the parts that I want to speed up. But the rest is just what you see is what you get. And with the drum videos, it's basically the exact opposite. It's not like you don't see the playing that I actually do. It's not like I pretend to play and then show you something completely different. And you actually get to hear the audio of the take that you can also see on the screen. So basically, I have 4 cameras running at the same time, and I usually need about 4 or 5 takes for one song. And then I have one that I kind of like and where I didn't make too many mistakes. And you can't see this. Sorry about that. Yeah, but I basically then have to go in, because for the drum stuff, I do record in 4K directly into my computer. Let me just think if it's better to show you this as the main view, and then go here and have me. Oops, nope. Picture in picture. Can I do this. Yeah, that works too. Okay, so you can see more of the building and less of me, and I'm still there. Hello. Yeah, as I said, I'm winging this. No clue how long the video is going to be in the end, but yeah. So with the drum stuff, I have 4 feeds in the end, and then I cut between them, and the audio stays the same for the entire time, so you basically hear one take from start to finish. And this is a lot of the same pieces, by the way, here. This is like, I have to really check where they're going, because it's just a couple of steps one after another, and it's always the same part. Then again, 10 more of these. Okay, you could have done this in one go, Lego. Like, it's not that difficult. I think that's one of the main gripes people have with Lego instructions, that they kind of pretend it's a lot more work to do and a lot harder to do, and they have these age recommendations that are kind of bogus, I guess, because, I mean, 18 plus, I think every Lego set out there that exists on this planet right now can be built by a 15, 14-year-old, like, with a little bit of experience. There is nothing above that that is kind of really required adult supervision or kind of capabilities that you don't have when you're 14. But that aside, so I needed 10 of these right now. Okay, I guess I have to open up another bag. Sorry for the noise. Wow. Okay, so this is probably the part that the set has the most of. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. Yeah, there's literally an entire bag only of this particular part. I did see that before, but I didn't think it was that much, to be honest. Yeah. Okay. Okay, another 2, and then we are up to 10, and I hope this will look good in the end, because again, this is the 1x1 situation again. I mean, these are a bit higher, so they kind of stabilize themselves better than the 1x1 tiles that don't really do that. But you still have some kind of play between them. All right, another part. Thank you so much. It's not the same again. Oh, I don't have any bags left that I have to open. That's good. One thing I did notice is that the colors are a bit off in that particular manual. Like everything I look at in the manual, it might just be the PDF though. It looks darker than it actually is in reality. Like the grays, and there is like 3 different gray tones here and 2 different green tones. In the manual, they look very different compared to the actual real-life pieces. I mean, it's not an issue, really. It's just an observation. But I did notice 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, one missing. I did notice, and I kind of grabbed the wrong one before I really thought, okay, this is like a theme for this build, for this particular build. Yeah, but I haven't had that with other models as much, I would think. I can't remember, at least, that I did. And I mean, I did build a lot of architecture models, and they did have green and gray in them. But this, as I said, is probably the biggest one yet out of all of them. I do have the White House left, and let me see, I think Trafalgar Square. Yep, just checked underneath my table where it is sitting. And yeah, as I was mentioning, the Lego videos, I can usually shoot like on a weekend, let's say 1.5 to 2 hours of actual video recording. And like for the drum videos, I have to practice the actual songs up front, of course, so they don't sound shit, and I actually get through them. And also I then have to do a lot of editing after the fact. I mean, the thumbnails I do for both now, and I kind of have figured out a method for that, and kind of use an online image editing software, because I don't want to spend money on the Creative Cloud license from Adobe, which is super expensive. And what I have to do is kind of take a still screen of me, and then basically cut out the background, and I use Photopea for that, which is a basically online Photoshop version. Works great, takes a couple of minutes to kind of put the background behind me, and just cut it out so I'm left by myself, and then I do the actual thumbnails for YouTube on Canva. And I use Canva for both of that, and I use the same template for both video types because it's just easier than doing two different ones, and just saves me time. Oh, back to the same piece. Look at that. 4, 5, 6. Alrighty. So that's basically one common element. I do edit in Final Cut Pro, and I do the audio mix for the drums, which is also one thing I don't have to do here. I do that in Logic Pro. I work on a MacBook with an external screen if I am in the studio, so one room over to my left. I do have my editing suite, which is connected to this room where all the audio equipment is, and I use that to edit when I have time. Otherwise, I will just take my laptop and sit on the couch and edit there while doing other stuff and playing ball with Penny, for example. I need 3, right? Yeah. 1, 2. This is one case of part blindness. I do occasionally suffer from it. Like, I have the parts, and I know the third one is here, and I probably look at it right now, like, very directly, but I can't seem to find it. One, 2. As I said, there it is. Yeah, I did find it. Alrighty. So the outer walls are coming together. This is still kind of... Can you see that? This flex right here? It's still bending. Like, this is... can I bend it in the other direction to kind of counter that? It doesn't have enough weight on the sides. It's got too much weight in the bottom, in the middle, but not on the sides yet. Well. Okay. So... Yeah, so depending on what I'm shooting and what I have in the pipeline. So I had these sets sitting below the desk for quite a while now, but even though the studio is set up to do both with the same cameras, with a little bit of just moving things from left to right, and I timed myself when I did it the first time, like kind of the switching between the two setups, and it was, I think, around half an hour to get like from one setup to the other, and that's not too bad, but like I don't want to go back and forth between recording drums and recording Lego videos like every weekend or every other weekend. So usually the way I can do it, and I do it right now, is to record multiple videos of the same nature, so a couple of drum videos, and then I'm like, okay, I don't have any songs that I really want to do right now with drum covering, so I will build some more Lego, and then this kind of repeats in a manner of a couple of weeks, I guess. But yeah, that also means in the time that I record Lego videos, my drum channel basically goes rather silent, which is never good on social media, because it's all about posting consistency and keeping people interested and letting them know, hey, I'm still alive and I do things, and it's worth going back to my channel once in a while and liking the posts, watching the videos. And even though I don't do this to earn money, I would be very broke if that was the case. I still want to, as I said, do it on a kind of professional level in terms of the video quality, and also the channel content to keep it interesting, and to, for one, of course, do what I really like, but also at the same time do things that people enjoy watching. And because I take, as I said, a lot of inspiration from other YouTube channels that I do watch constantly, and I take great joy, and I really find it a good pastime. I don't think it's wasted time because it inspires me to improve my videos, and it makes me want to do better content. And I really want to emphasize that it's not just like wasting time watching stupid nonsense about technical equipment, computer parts. And I don't own a PC anymore, and I haven't for a couple of years now. So there's actually no use in me watching PC part videos about new CPUs, GPUs, and stuff like that. But it's just, it's interesting. It keeps me entertained, and I hope my rambling about what I watch on YouTube keeps you entertained at this point, if you stuck around for the video that long. All right, 14. Okay, that's a bigger number again. So we need these kind of slopey bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. There's more of these even. All right, more slopes. Here we go. It's interesting to see these models come to life and to actually get where they begin to look like what they're meant to look like in the end. They put these in right. I hope so. Oh yeah, I can only put them in this way. All right, now it works. Okay. Yeah, because there is this point where at least I find that you can start to see what you're actually building, because in the beginning, okay, you can see this is the base plate, and this is kind of like a checkerboard, but it doesn't resemble anything remotely close to what the final result looks like. And then there is this point where you kind of see it coming together more, and the structure kind of becomes more apparent, and you can see the different parts of the architecture coming together. And with very iconic buildings, I guess this happens quicker than with buildings you've not seen in real life before, because you have no point of reference. But with the Capitol building, as I said, I went there, and it's not that accessible. It's not like the Lincoln Memorial where you can just go into the building itself. And I think it won't be for a while after January 6th this year. I mean, you can probably take guided tours. I would have to check that, but who knows when I will be back, or when I'm going to be back in the US the next time. Not something I do like every year. Also, it'd be kind of cool, I guess, to do that. 1, 2, okay. And there's... Okay, we have 1x1s again, a lot of them. And my OCD kicking in about them not being completely straight. But don't want to make it too perfect either, because it would simply take a lot longer. And I mean, the build is going to be long as it is. And I think, oops, is that correct? Yeah, looks good. I think, depending on which building steps are going to be next. Oh, there's a lot of that part again. Okay, I think we get the kind of direction where this is going right now, and this looks really bendy. Yeah. I think I will speed it up again for you guys so you can get a better look at what I'm doing and get it kind of in a quicker manner, and the final video won't be 3 hours long. So here we go again. All right, I will just give this a quick break and get back to you guys, because the next bit is going to be 40 times this little piece right there, and I have to stack them like this, basically facing opposite sides like so. Focus, here we go. Does that work? It should. There we go. And basically do the outer walls with that, and that times 20. And yeah, that is a bit tedious, and after that it's going to continue with these fancy bits right there. Not fancy, but fancy. Yeah, so fence items, sorry, here we go. And I still kind of want to know why this camera doesn't focus, because, I mean, this works, this is in focus, and it should. Well, I have to figure that out at a later stage, but for now, yeah, I will give you guys a break and not have this video become the longest one I ever did. Probably will too, still, but yeah, let's take a break. I will quickly show you where we're at one last time, and this is basically the state of the model right now. The arches in the middle are quite nice, and I think that's where the atrium is going to be, and where the Pantheon roof is going to be put eventually. So this is what it looks like right now. And the outer walls, yeah, they will take a bit of time, and I will do these at a later stage and leave you guys at that right now. This is the Capitol Building Lego Architecture set 21030, and this was part 1 of the video. And I will see you guys for the second one very soon, either as a regular video or a live stream. Until then, take care, guys. Bye.